time in the National League Championship Series of 1985. Today's game will probably be a true showdown between the two bullpens. We haven't had that yet,
no,
but I think we're going to have it today.
Well, we'll look forward to it.
All right, and the first thing we ought to do, we will check the starting lineups as the Cardinals are about ready to take the field. There it is, the Ozzie Smith backflip. So the Cardinals have taken their defensive stations as we're about ready to get underway. Mariano Duncan will be at shortstop. Kenny Landreau in center field. Pedro Guerrero hitting in the number 3 slot in left, and Bill Madlock hitting cleanup. Mike Marshall in right field. Mike Scioscia behind the plate. Greg Brock with only 1 hit, but it was a 2-run home run. He's at first. Steve Sax, who has been swinging a very hot bat, at second base, and the pitcher Fernando Valenzuela.
Defensively, Landrum is in center field. McGee, Cedeno, and that's pretty good speed, of course, in left and center field. McGee will have to cover some ground for Cedeno, who's in there for his bat.
Then in the rotation from the end of May to June, he was then dropped out of the rotation. That's when the Cardinals went to a 4-man rotation, and the one man who certainly profited was John Tudor. He was out of the rotation from June 9th until August 11th. However, from August 11th on, he has made 7 of 10 quality starts, 6 innings or more, and 3 runs or less allowed. His best game, a 3-hit shutout against the Phillies in September. In a no decision against the Cubs. He is not a strikeout man. We're talking about the string of National League home victories in the championship series. There's ball 4. The home team has won 12 consecutive National League Championship Series games.
Does pitch down, but not usually this wild.
Landreau, by the way, is not a patient hitter. And Duncan goes. Fastball hit to straightaway center. They're trying to decoy Duncan, but McGee makes the catch. The throw will come to first anyway, but he got back. 3 RBIs. And he hits a double play ball. Ozzie to her to Clark. Here's the Cardinal lineup to face Valenzuela. Willie McGee in the leadoff spot in center field, and Ozzie Smith at short. Tommy Herr hitting third at second, and Jack Clark in the cleanup spot at first. Cesar Cedeno in right, with Tito Landrum in left. Terry Pendelton at third. The catcher is Darrell Porter, and the pitcher Bob Ford. Defensively, Guerrero, Landreau, and Marshall. Landreau the key man in that defense, of course. Madlock, Duncan, Sax, and Brock. Scioscia behind the plate, and Fernando on the mound against Willie McGee, and he did a pretty good job on him by throwing him a lot of breaking balls in L.A., and actually with 2 strikes, throwing that ball out of the strike zone low and getting him. The fact that he told us he was irate at the press because they had taken a quote that he uttered in May about the Dodgers being horse bleep and living in bleep, and then they used it in October, and the reporters say not so. It is a case of faulty memory, to say the least. Check swing, no swing, says Crawford. 3 balls and no strikes to Ozzie Smith. Willie McGee at first, nobody out, no score, and he's missing by plenty. Ground ball down the line. Here comes McGee. They're going to hold Ozzie, and he ran right through the stop sign and scored. Tried to hold up Ozzie, and he went right through him like it was a bad dream. It's a 2-base hit for Tommy Herr, and Lanier, with nobody out, tried to hold him up, and Ozzie just ran right through him. The relay, though, had nothing on it, no chance in the world.
And luckily, Fernando was backing him up. Now watch Ozzie go right through that stop sign. Hands were straight up by Lanier. Pulls him back here, but Ozzie, he just kept coming. Fernando, a good play backing it up because the relay throw was very high.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen Fernando make a good pitch yet. Not one. And there it goes. He threw it into center field. And the Spectre has come back to life. Lined at Madlock, and he goes to his knees prayerfully that it didn't kill him.
Hot corner, that proves it. Down he goes. And he says, luckily I saw it.
2 balls, 2 strikes. Foul tipped and held. So Cedeno strikes out, and it means the right field platoon for the Cardinals are 3 for 15 and only 1 RBI.
On that corner.
High fly ball to Landro. So he's out of it cheaply enough. 2 runs, 1 hit, 1 error, 1 left. At the end of an inning, Cardinals 2, the Dodgers nothing. Madlock, Marshall, and Socia coming up. And knock him down so he couldn't advance. Line drive at Pendelton.
Time to think here. Just put the glove up, and there it is. He is really showing some great reflexes.
Number 5.
Long out here. High chopper over the mound. Back a second. There's Ozzie.
Right in the middle of that play, he knew he had to get something on it. You could see him in midair kind of kick his body in gear. Made the difference. Now watch him right here. Right there. He just, when he gets up, he kind of gives it a little push, and that's where he makes the play.
It's really remarkable to see a man leave the ground and throw that hard. Now, both feet are going to be off the ground when he makes the throw.
See him hook it in gear?
Yeah.
You could really see him almost shift that body. He has.
He is the one ball player, Ozzie Smith, when you refer to him as an acrobat. And he breaks his bat and loops it into right field for a base hit. He will gladly take it. That makes him 3 for 3 against Bob Forge. And he's going now on a high nubber back to Forge. That's that. No runs, 1 hit. The play by Ozzie is a big one. At the end of an inning and a half, 2-0 St. Louis. She'll lost a hit by Ozzie Smith, and that's hit into right field. And Pendelton now, let's see if he turns on the heat. He's going for 2, and he has a double. And Fernando is in trouble again.
You really don't get the feeling he's in command.
No, not at all.
He stands on the mound as if to say, I'm king of the hill, come get me. He doesn't give you that feeling.
He's in a lot of trouble. Rock ready to come in. Force is bunting. Got it down. Fernando has to go to first. From third. Porter at second. 0-2. Got him.
Showed me something on that series, Vin.
That's the best bit of pitching he has done. Ozzie Smith, and for the Dodgers, Steve Sax. But that's the way it's worked out. Ozzie with 7 hits. Pops it in the air. Duncan out. Guerrero and Landro. Duncan. And Fernando really dodges a bullet. And at the end of 2, the Cardinals 2, the Dodgers nothing. We'll be back after these messages from your local station. Home cooking. But at the same time, he's a bachelor. Ground ball to third. He is hitting 100 points better away from home. 1 down. Fernando, about the best Dodger hitting pitcher, pops it up. And it'll be Tito Landrum.
I would say it's fairly simple, Vin, to know when Force is in trouble. If he gets the ball up.
Count went 2-0 to Landro, eventually 2-2 to Landro, and eventually Landro a harmless fly ball, and then Guerrero hit into a double play. Ground ball to Clark. See you later. The Dodgers tiptoe through the third at the end of 2 1/2. The Cardinals 2, the Dodgers nothing. Herr, Clark, and Cedeno. A 1-2 hopper to Duncan. One away. Not throwing as many pitches as he has. Strike on the corner. High pop foul. Back of first, down the line, and Brock makes the play right at home plate. So for the first time, the Birds are quiet, and at the end of 3, the Cardinals 2, the Dodgers nothing. The best of the Dodgers. Last night, it was Bob Gibson and Stan Musial, and today they settled for Lou.
All Hall of Famers, there, give them to you. And cool Papa Bell's watching this game, Vin. I just had to mention him.
And lines it to center, and that'll be a base hit. So now Guerrero, Madlock, and Marshall coming up.
Against strength. He's going to have to prove he can hit my low pitch.
Breaking ball lifted to the graveyard unless it carries out. And on the track is Willie McGee. And that's another one that's out at Dodger Stadium. Small consolation to Guerrero. Madlock in his career is hitting over 300 against fours with 1 home run. 2-0. He goes, and so does the ball. High drive into left field and gone. And Madlock wears out force, and the Dodgers have tied the Cardinals.
You expect that. Madlock got the ball up, and he just hit it right over that left field fence. That wasn't hooking like that other one he hit.
So we have a 2-2 tie in the 4th. Watch Kenny Landreau when he sees where the ball's going.
Let that little
3-0. And he's aboard. One of the big topics of discussion was going to... So Dayley heating up. Socia followed by Brock.
And looking for something.
There he goes, and they pitch out, and now they throw back, and he gets it because of the bad throw. So they wanted to play hit and run. Porter pitched out, and then almost threw it into right field.
Let me do it again.
There he goes. And then he goes back again. And
he
now
tipped him.
they're calling interference. They sure are. Darrell Porter tipping Mike Socia's bat. And the Dodgers get a big break. And Whitey Herzog will talk to Paul Runge. So 2 pitch outs in a row on 2 possible hit and run plays. And the Dodgers wind up smelling like a rose as Darrell Porter will draw an error for interference.
Look at him come up. He's way up there. Pitch out, and Mike calls it right away. Watch Socia.
Here is Brock. Off speed, hit down the line, foul. Let Force make 1 pitch. That could have been a tremendous mistake. Brock takes him deep and foul, and now they're going to bring in Ken Dayley. I couldn't figure out why Dayley was up if he was going to let Greg Brock come up to the plate, and he dodged a bullet, did Whitey Herzog. Over. Then the Cardinals play halfway or even up.
He's not sure. You can see he was undecided. He didn't get a good view of that ball, and only because it was in front of him, because they teach you if the ball's in front of the catcher and he blocks it, don't take off. And Marshall did not get that good a view.
Now if he hits into a double play, that's been a big play. Ground ball to third. Pendelton to her. How do you do? Can you believe this game? All you have to do is watch closely. Guaranteed you'll see something. Build and build, and there it was. So far. Screwball grounded to third. Cabell is now over at first. 1 away. Darrell Porter walked. Bob Force sacrificed, and then the key out. Fernando struck out McGee. Ground ball to the left to Duncan. 2-2 tie. Bottom of the 4th inning. 2 out, bases empty. And he walks Porter a second time. And of course, that's a big break for the Cardinals. Even if Dayley makes the last out, during the regular season, he went 2 for 5. And promptly bangs it up the middle.
Pick up the pitch quite as well against Valenzuela. And he got him low inside the last time. Let's see what he does. There it is.
Got him again. So Fernando using Willie McGee as an escape hatch. The Cardinals lead 2, and we'll be right back after these messages from your local station. And he chased it, and did you see where Porter was?
Same pitch that he fouled off, except that this was a little bit more outside. It was an overhand curveball.
Your dugout, as you see Sax, and many of the Dodgers are out of the dugout and pointing up, and I can only assume that somebody threw something.
Threw water at him. Some fan, they're going to point him out. It threw water.
Some brave man, and we assume then as he got to the dugout, there you can see something hit him, and he's furious, and he's ready to go up in the stands. And then Lasorda got furious at Sax when Steve finally got back into the dugout. Charlie Strasser, one of the trainers, trying to grab him from the back. You stay here. No risk injury. A little blooper on a broken bat to Ozzie Smith. 2 out. Knocked the brother down at the plate.
Freeze brothers.
He went in to fight Augie, and George Freeze, his center fielder, jumped Tommy. And the count is 0-2 on Duncan.
You think you can bust a lot of things.
Busted bat and a ground ball to Pendelton. So the Dodgers are out in order in the 5th, and Dayley broke 2 bats. And at the end of 4 1/2, a 2-2 tie. A drive to left field. Guerrero started in, makes the play. 1 away. 2nd and 3rd, and 1 out in the 2nd inning, and McGee struck out, and they didn't score. They had runners at 1st and 2nd in the 4th, and high drive into left field. Guerrero going to the track at the wall. He's got it. That's the ball he hit. Madlock caught it and dropped to his knees. Line to right field. Base hit. And immediately Fernando throws it away. And down to second base on the wild pitch goes Jack Clark. For Fernando, 5 walks. This one ruled intentional. And here comes Landrum.
Even if it might be out of the strike zone.
High bouncer down to Madlock, and he's right on the bag for the force play, and they're out of the inning. The wild pitch could very well have turned out to be a blessing, and at the end of 5, 2-2. Last night. And he promptly strokes it, sinking in front of McGee, base hit. So Landro, with his 7th hit, is hitting over 500. And that's a little fly ball to right field. Cedeno is there. Hitter, led the league in batting 4 times, but he's homered in 2 of his last 3 at-bats, and as we told you, he hits Forsch very well. Landro holding, and there's a fly ball to right. Cedeno started back because it came off the end of the bat. Smith turned it into an out, and he walked last time out.
If Landro gets thrown out, Marshall would lead off the inning, so you got to be wary of Mr. Landro over there at first base.
Ground ball, what a stop by Dayley to get him. Bob Welch Welsh has done his throwing in the Dodger bullpen and sat down. He began by walking McGee and walking Ozzie Smith, and Tommy Hurd doubled in too. Foul tipped and held. That will be strikeout number 5 for Fernando. Porter has walked twice, and Ken Dayley is on deck. Half swing got him. Half a dozen strikeouts. Valenzuela in front of crowds of 50-some-odd thousand. Nationwide television and beamed all over the world, as far as I know. Ground ball, fair ball to Cabell. Hangs it for Valenzuela. So they're gone in order. Only the second time in 6 the Cardinals have been retired in order. We'll be right back after these messages from your local station. That pretty good indication that he was way out in front of it. 3-0. Ball 4. Now remember, Dayley has worked 2 2/3 innings. Swing and a base hit. So should a second. And now the Dodgers have first and second and nobody out with Sax, Valenzuela, and Duncan. And we'll see as Porter looked over to the Cardinal dugout if Whitey is going to make a move or not. About just how long Dayley could go, and perhaps we got the answer.
Driver told me, show me.
Let's take a look at Todd Worrell. When they brought him up from Louisville in August, he wound up with 3 wins, 5 saves. And he's going to swing, in fact, take. Now the question is, you don't expect him to try to bunt 3 and 2. What about striking out? Boy, was that a big sequence of pitches.
It's just a fastball. It's just your ordinary 91-mile-an-hour fastball. What I mean, he just, forget the finesse, he just fired it. Not so sure it was a strike, but certainly too close for Sax to take that pitch. He had
1 out. Ground ball off the glove of Worrell. And the runners move up. Socia advancing to third and Cabell to second.
ball bunt for a base hit.
2 out, 2 on, a 2-2 tie. And he pops it up in foul ground. Porter and Clark, it's playable. It is Porter. And the key to the inning was Steve Sax's inability to move the runners. McGee is 0 for 5 against Fernando with 4 strikeouts.
You'd almost be tempted to give him a take sign right here.
And now you're asking for it. And the bunt is an AstroTurf bunt. Big bounce. Well, that took any chance. 1-4 sack.
He puts that man in scoring position and upsets the ball club. Now you got her, Clark, and Cedeno.
Ground ball to short. Going over to third is McGee. And actually Duncan never had a chance to get him. Willie just breaks and moves so quickly.
Saying, we're not going to let Jack Clark beat us. Pitch to Cedeno.
And it's hit to Landreau in center. Fernando is out of the inning. No runs, 2 hits and 2 left. And both managers are going right down to the quick.
Shading Landreau a little bit towards left center field. They don't think he'll be able to pull him.
At first. Get a pretty good rip at that. 1-1. Oh, 94.
Whew. He just rears back and pumps.
And he goes to left field, but it's just a fly ball to Landreau. That's the way they played him. That's the way they pitched him, up and away. It resulted, if you remember the scene, of Candy Maldonado giving him a little pantomime of the fact he was opening up too soon at the plate. Fastball, he didn't get around on it. Foul ball to Clark. Block. against Bob Porsche, lined out to third and hit a 2-run home run. Hit off the end of the bat, dribble to Clark. He's got it in fair ground. Fourth. So Niedenfuhr will be backing up Fernando, and there's Lottie. Landrum is 0 for walking the 8th. 3-1. And he has walked his 8th now.
Base on balls in the 7th, 8th, and 9th inning usually really comes home to haunt. He walked the first 2 to start it off. That's where the 2 runs came.
Terry hitting .263 in the series. Hit to left field and deep. Guerrero is there, however, to make the play. And back to first comes Landrum. Pitcher is on deck, but Jeff Lottie is down in the pen. Landrum goes, swung on and missed. Socha late.
Accident.
So Porter strikes out, and Landrum does what he normally doesn't do. Lottie throwing in the pen, and he drives it to left, but Guerrero has a play, and the inning is over as Harper flies to left. Landrum is left at second, and at the end of 8, a 2-2 tie. And his coach, he really understands.
8 base on balls. He had 7 strikeouts and that very shaky start. When you walk 2 and they score, usually that means goodbye.
Breaking ball, and even harder swing after Bob Porsche started. Fastball, cracked bat, ground ball to Ozzie Smith. 1 away. Socha single to right, reached on the error interference charge against Porter, and little fly ball to right field. Afternoon for Fernando, but he limited the Cardinals to fly ball, and it'll be Willie McGee. And look out now, here comes the bottom of the 9th inning.
Now pitching number 49.
And at first base, Len Matuszek. It is a normal 2-for-1 switch by any manager, so that Matuszek, coming into the game at the same time as Niedenfuhr, will bat in the number 9 slot. Niedenfuhr will go in the spot where the last out was recorded. That was Cabell, with 2 walks against Valenzuela. High pop fly, and it's Madlock in foul ground. And they take care of McGee. To left and sacrifice. Game 5. Fastball, pop foul, out of play.
Much like Worrell, Niedenfuhr is your typical relief pitcher. Rear back and fire, throw as hard as you can for as long as you can.
Start of the game. Fastball, fouled away again. 22 at-bats. He has never struck out more than 49 times in an entire season. Ball 1. Madlock, Guerrero, Landro, and Marshall. And Tom Niedenfuhr picking up the pitching burden. And that's driven to deep right field. Back goes Marshall. Gone! atmosphere from Miller. MVP, needless to say, is Ozzie Smith. For Joe Garagiola, Vin Scully, we'll see you at Dodger Stadium in Los Angeles.